Goniopholis. Goniopholis lived in what is now North America and is believed to be a direct ancestor of modern-day alligators and crocodiles. Let's compare it to something we know the size of, a kid like you. Goniopholis was an omnivore that ate plants and small animals. Hadrosaurus. Hadrosaurus was a duck-billed hadrosaur that lived in North America during the Cretaceous time period. This animal was about 4 kids tall. Hadrosaurus was a plant eater, or herbivore. Haplocaris. Haplocaris was a relatively small dinosaur that displayed many bird-like features, such as feathers and clawed hands. This animal was about 1 kid tall. Haplocaris was a carnivore, or meat eater. Hesperornis. Hesperornis were birds that lived during the late Cretaceous time period. They were very unique animals because they had wings, but didn't really fly. They mostly swam underwater. This animal was about 1 kid tall. Hesperornis had teeth in their beak, which scientists believe helped them catch and eat fish. Ichthyosaurus. Because of their fish-like bodies, Ichthyosaurus almost certainly stayed in the water, but like modern whales, they still breathed air and lacked gills. This animal was about 1 kid tall. Ichthyosaurus was a carnivore, whose diet was probably made up of fish and squid. Iguanodon. One of the first dinosaurs discovered, Iguanodon was a large dinosaur that lived in Europe during the early part of the Cretaceous time period. This animal was about 3 kids tall. Iguanodon was a large plant-eating dinosaur. Jaxartosaurus. Jaxartosaurus is closely related to other crested hadrosaurs, like Corythosaurus and Parasaurolophus. This animal was about 4 kids tall. Like other hadrosaurs, Jaxartosaurus ate plants. Jehilornis. Jehilornis was a bird that lived in Asia during the Cretaceous time period. Let's compare it to something we know the size of, a kid like you. Unlike birds living today, Jehilornis had teeth and may have been a seed eater. Kentrosaurus. Kentrosaurus was a relatively small armored stegosaur dinosaur from the late Jurassic time period. This animal was about 1 kid tall. Kentrosaurus was a slow-moving plant eater that was found in Africa. Kentrosaurus had a tiny brain, one of the smallest known for a dinosaur. Cosmoceratops. Cosmoceratops was a plant-eating ceratopsian dinosaur from the Cretaceous time period. Its name means ornamented horned face. This animal was about 2 kids tall. Like other ceratopsians, Cosmoceratops was a herbivore. Lambeosaurus. Lambeosaurus is a duck-billed dinosaur with a hollow head crest made of bone. The crest was probably used to make sounds for communicating with other Lambeosaurus. This animal was about 7 kids tall. This herbivore probably stood on its hind legs while reaching into the conifer trees to munch on pine cones and pine needles. Lizotosaurus. Lizotosaurus was a small 3-foot-long dinosaur from the early Jurassic time period. Let's compare it to something we know the size of, a kid like you. Like many other plant-eating dinosaurs, Lizotosaurus had a beak in the front of its mouth and back teeth that were used to slice up plants. Maiasaura. Maiasaura was a duck-billed dinosaur named the Good Mother because some paleontologists think it looked after its babies after they hatched. This animal was about 4 kids tall. Maiasaura was a large plant-eating dinosaur that lived in North America during the late Cretaceous time period. Mechicosaurus. Mechicosaurus was a small dinosaur known only from the island of Madagascar and was the size of a big dog. This animal was about 1 kid tall. The lower front teeth of Mechicosaurus pointed forward and slightly up rather than straight up, like in other dinosaurs. It likely survived on a diet of small animals, fish, birds, lizards, and snakes. Megalosaurus. Megalosaurus lived in what is now present-day Europe. This animal was about 3 kids tall. This big carnivore probably hunted a variety of plant-eating dinosaurs. Megaraptor. Megaraptor had huge jaws lined with sharp teeth and curved claws on its hands that were probably used to catch prey. This animal was about 3 kids tall. Megaraptor was a large meat-eating theropod. Michelinosaurus. Some Michelinosaurus were apparently deep divers, diving more than 6 miles below the ocean surface. This animal was about 1 kid tall. Michelinosaurus was a carnivore, perhaps diving to great depths to feed on other sea animals. Microraptor, one of the smallest dinosaurs ever to be discovered. Microraptors were only between 1 and 3 feet long and weighed less than 3 pounds. This animal was about 1 kid tall. This Cretaceous carnivore may have lived mostly in the trees, using its sharp teeth to feed on small animals and even insects. Mosasaurus. Mosasaurus was huge, growing up to 50 feet long. That's bigger than a T-Rex. This animal was about 3 kids tall. Mosasaurus probably ate a variety of animals such as fish, turtles, ammonites, maybe even smaller mosasaurs. Necrolestes. Necrolestes had a big snout, a short body, and wide legs that helped it dig deep underground. Let's compare it to something we know the size of, a kid like you. Necrolestes was an insectivore and probably burrowed in the dirt to find worms and small insects to eat. Nemicalopterus. The Nemicalopterus probably used its curved claws to perch on branches high up in the tree canopy. Let's compare it to something we know the size of, a kid like you. Nemicalopterus was an insectivore and probably hunted insects by gliding around the tree canopy.